Of all the questions I get asked about minimalism, the most common, by far, is this. How do I get my partner or my spouse on board with minimalism? Well, there are no easy answers to this question. However, there are 3 things that I think we can do to help get our spouses on board with owning less. And they involve the right words at the right time with the right attitude. First of all, we use the right words. I find that so many conversations about stuff and clutter and possessions occur when we are frustrated. We can't find something in the house, the closet doesn't shut, we can't park in the garage, the credit card statement shows up and we open it up, and out of frustration we get upset and we say something like, "Oh, I'm just tired of all your stuff around here all the time." That is not the right way to have this conversation. Go out for coffee, have a nice dinner, have a rational, thoughtful conversation about what is most important to us as a family, what we want to accomplish with our family, what would we do if we had more money and time and energy, and start making the case for owning less in a rational way. Also, think through what might draw them to owning less. The benefits of owning less that draw you to the lifestyle might be different than what would resonate most with them. So start with the right words. The second thing is to do this at the right time. Look, it is always easier to see everyone else's clutter than it is to see our own. But if you're going to start your minimizing journey by getting rid of all of your spouse's stuff first, I would warn you against it. That's a big mistake. Much like I said in the video when talking about getting rid of kids' things first, it's actually very unfair. We need to get rid of our own things first. Handle your side of the closet, handle your garage, handle your side of the office, your kitchen, your arts and crafts room, your basement, whatever it might be. Get rid of your things first, and then when the time is right, start talking to them about shared spaces and minimizing some of their possessions. So we use the right words, we approach this at the right time, and third, with the right attitude. Always, always motivated out of love that we're doing this to better our family, to better our relationship. So approach it with love, approach it with humility, that you're not a perfect person either, that just because you are being challenged to own less and improve yourself in that way doesn't mean that your spouse or partner isn't growing in some other way and changing for the positive in some other fashion in their life. So we approach it with love and humility. And third, patience. We approach this conversation with patience. I was once speaking at an event in Dallas where I had a lady stand up in the front row, and she said to me, "Look, I have been trying for 5 years to get my husband on board with minimalism. I've been modeling it. I've been living as an example." She said, "Just last week, he came to me and he said, 'You know that minimalism thing you've been talking about? I think I'm finally starting to understand why you do it.'" I think her story is important because, number one, I do believe that minimalism wins out in the end, that the benefits of owning less eventually win out at some point. But second of all, this doesn't always happen overnight. Sometimes it takes more than a week or 3 months or even 3 years. For her, it took 5 years of living this out before her spouse understood the reasoning behind it. So as you seek to get your spouse on board with minimalism, no, it's not always easy. But know that when we approach it with the right words, at the right time, with the right attitude, we'll be far more successful. But we lead by example, we model minimalism, we enjoy the benefits in our own life, We enjoy the benefits that half minimalism brings to the family. And eventually, our spouses will come on board and will be in with you on the journey to own less and live more.